Imagine a race, not for medals but for the very future of our planet. This is a competition where the stakes are higher than ever before, and the finish line is a cleaner, more sustainable world for generations to come. Europe dreams of a future powered by clean energy, wind turbines spinning across the countryside, electric cars gliding silently through city streets. But behind this vision lies a hidden dependency. Almost every piece of green technology relies on rare earth elements, and Europe is almost entirely dependent on China for these critical materials. These 17 metallic elements are the unsung heroes of modern technology. They're found in the magnets that make electric motors run, the screens of our smartphones, and the blades of wind turbines that capture the power of the wind. Without them, our digital and green revolutions would grind to a halt. For decades, Europe has led in innovation and design, but it has outsourced the messy, environmentally challenging business of mining and processing rare earths to other countries. This approach kept Europe's hands clean, but it also created a dangerous reliance on distant suppliers. Now, shifting geopolitics, trade tensions, and fragile global supply chains have exposed just how vulnerable Europe is. A single disruption can halt entire industries, leaving factories idle and progress stalled. This isn't just about business or economics, it's about security, sovereignty, and control over Europe's own destiny. The ability to build and maintain green technology is now a matter of national and continental importance. The decisions made today, about where to source materials, how to recycle, and who to partner with, will shape the lives of children playing in schoolyards, families commuting to work, and entire communities for decades to come. The question is clear. Can Europe build a secure, ethical, and sustainable supply chain for these essential materials? Can it mine responsibly, recycle efficiently, and innovate its way to independence? The challenge is massive. It means reopening old mines with new, cleaner technology, pioneering advanced recycling methods to recover rare earths from discarded electronics, and forging new alliances both within Europe and around the world. The outcome of this race will determine whether Europe leads the global green revolution or is forced to follow others. It's a test of vision, resilience, and unity. This story is about more than just technology or industry. It's about the air we breathe, the cars we drive, the energy that powers our homes, and the choices we make for our future. In this series, we'll explore Europe's dependency on rare earths, uncover the unique properties that make these elements so valuable, and examine the bold strategies being developed to break free from reliance on a single supplier. Join us as we dive into this critical race for our planet's future, a race that will shape not just Europe, but the world for generations to come. Rare earths, vital but not actually rare. Despite their name, these elements are surprisingly abundant in the Earth's crust. In fact, you might be surprised to learn that some rare earths are more plentiful than well-known metals like copper or lead. But there's a catch: they're rarely found in concentrated mineable deposits, which makes extracting them a complex and costly process. Elements like cerium, for example, are scattered widely, but it takes a lot of effort and technology to gather enough in one place to be useful. This is why rare earth mining often involves moving tons of earth and using advanced chemical processes to separate out the valuable bits. There are 17 rare earth elements in total, including the lanthanides, scandium, and yttrium. Think of them as the vitamins of modern technology. Tiny amounts make a huge difference. Without them, many of the devices and clean energy solutions we rely on simply wouldn't work. Take neodymium, for instance. Just a pinch of this element is enough to create the world's strongest magnets. These magnets are essential for powering electric vehicles, making wind turbines spin, and even running the tiny motors in your headphones. Without rare earths, the global push for renewable energy and electric transportation would grind to a halt. They're the unsung heroes of the green transition, quietly enabling a cleaner, more sustainable future. But their impact goes even further. Rare earths are what make your smartphone's display so vibrant, give it that satisfying buzz, and keep its screen smooth and scratch-resistant. They're hidden inside almost every piece of modern electronics. Thanks to rare earths, our gadgets keep getting smaller, faster, and more efficient. They're the secret sauce behind the miniaturization revolution, making it possible to pack more power into less space. These elements aren't just raw materials, they're the foundation of innovation, driving progress in everything from healthcare to space exploration. As our world becomes more digital and electrified, demand for rare earths is set to soar. Industries everywhere are scrambling to secure reliable supplies. The World Bank predicts that by 2050, demand for wind turbine magnets alone could increase by a staggering 1,000%. That's a tenfold jump in just a few decades. Whoever controls these critical materials holds immense economic and geopolitical power. Access to rare earths can shape the fate of entire industries and even nations. Europe, for example, is only now waking up to this new reality. Policymakers and industry leaders are scrambling to reduce dependence on imports and build up domestic supply chains. The race for rare earths is more than just a competition for resources. It's a race for technological sovereignty, economic security, and the ability to shape the future. As the world's appetite for technology grows, the stakes have never been higher. The story of rare earths is just beginning, and it's one that will shape our world for decades to come. Europe's reliance on China for rare earths is staggering. China mines 60% of the world's supply, but processes nearly 90%. Even if Europe mined its own, it would still need China to process them. The EU imports 98% of its separated rare earths from China, a single thread connecting Europe's industries to one country. This is a strategic vulnerability. Decades ago, Western countries shut down their own mines due to environmental concerns and China's lower costs. China seized the opportunity, building a near monopoly by design. This gives China enormous economic and political leverage. Europe's green ambitions rest on ground controlled by a rival. The wake-up call is impossible to ignore. The risks of dependency are real and have already played out. In 2010, China halted rare earth exports to Japan after a dispute, sending prices soaring and exposing global fragility. Rare earths became a tool of statecraft, a supply chain weapon. China can create price volatility, favor its own companies, and tilt the playing field. Europe's strategic autonomy is at stake. Dependency limits its ability to act independently. The environmental cost is also troubling. China's rare earth industry has a history of pollution. Europe's green tech may be built on a dirty foundation. This contradiction is forcing Europe to rethink its entire approach. The chain tugs on factories and on foreign policy. The time for action is now. Europe is fighting back with a bold, multi-pronged plan. The Critical Raw Materials Act sets targets by 2030, extract 10% and process 40% of strategic materials domestically. The vision, a mine-to-magnet supply chain on European soil. Recycling is key. 25% of rare earths should come from old tech and wind turbines. Urban mining turns yesterday's waste into tomorrow's resources. Europe is also building international partnerships with countries like Canada and Australia. The goal, a resilient, diversified network of trusted suppliers. No more single points of failure. Europe is determined to secure its green future, on its own terms. The blueprint is ambitious, but essential. Europe has rare earth deposits, especially in Scandinavia. The Kiruna discovery in Sweden could be a game-changer, but mining is slow and complex. Permitting takes years, and environmental standards are strict. The dilemma: urgent need versus environmental responsibility. Rare earth mining can scar landscapes and produce hazardous waste. Local communities like the Sami have real concerns. Gaining social acceptance is as vital as government permits. Europe must lead in sustainable mining, minimizing impact, restoring land, and engaging communities. Only by proving it can mine responsibly will Europe build a truly made-in-Europe supply chain. The bar is high, but so are the stakes. Success here will define Europe's green credibility. Europe's e-waste is a hidden goldmine of rare earths. Urban mining, recycling old electronics, can create a secure domestic supply. Millions of discarded devices and decommissioned wind turbines hold valuable materials. Recycling reduces import reliance and environmental impact. The challenge: rare earths are used in tiny amounts and complex alloys, making extraction tough. New tech and better product design are needed for efficient recovery. Collection systems must improve to keep e-waste out of landfills. Specialized recycling facilities are essential. Achieving 25% recycled supply is ambitious but crucial for resilience. Europe's circular economy could turn trash into strategic treasure. Europe can't go it alone. Global partnerships are vital. The goal: a diversified portfolio, not a new dependency. Australia and Canada are key allies with strong resources and shared values. Strategic partnerships go beyond trade. Joint investment and sustainable standards are central. Europe is also engaging with emerging suppliers in Africa and Latin America, offering investment and expertise for responsible development. Greenland's vast deposits could keep supply within the European family, but come with environmental and political challenges. Building these alliances is a diplomatic balancing act. The aim, a resilient, ethical global network for rare earths. Europe's future depends on trust, transparency, and shared benefit. The world is watching. Rare earth independence is about Europe's future, and in many ways it's about the future of the entire world. These minerals are the backbone of modern technology, powering everything from smartphones to satellites. For Europe, gaining control over its own rare earth resources isn't just a matter of economic security. It's a question of sovereignty, innovation, and global influence. Rare earths are the foundation for the Green Deal, the transition to electric vehicles, and the expansion of clean energy. Without them, Europe's vision for a sustainable, carbon-neutral future would be impossible. Every wind turbine, every solar panel, every electric car depends on these critical materials. Control over supply means control over climate destiny. If Europe can secure its own rare earths, it can lead the world in fighting climate change, setting ambitious targets and actually meeting them. A resilient supply chain protects jobs, supports local industries, and shields the economy from global shocks. It means fewer disruptions, more stable prices, and greater confidence for businesses and workers alike. By insisting on high standards, Europe sets a global example for ethical green growth. European mining and manufacturing can show the world that it's possible to balance economic progress with environmental responsibility and social justice. The road ahead is long. Mines take years to develop, recycling technology is still evolving, and China, the current leader, won't give up its dominance easily. Europe faces tough competition and complex challenges, from technical hurdles to geopolitical tensions. Success demands political will, bold investment, and relentless innovation. Governments, businesses, and scientists must work together, forging new partnerships and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. The next few years will be decisive. Can Europe turn its ambition into reality? The choices made now will shape the continent's future for decades to come. This is an unfolding drama, not a foregone conclusion. The outcome depends on leadership, public support, and the ability to adapt to a rapidly changing world. The quest for rare earth independence is a quest for a stronger, greener, and more sovereign Europe, one that can chart its own course and inspire others to follow. The race is on, and the world is watching closely, waiting to see if Europe can rise to the challenge and lead the way toward a sustainable future.